Hey there, this is Seth, and I run a little blog called REtipster.com. And in this short video, I just want to give you a quick overview of how I make money with my various entrepreneurial endeavors. Now, in order to explain this properly, I kind of have to start from square one. So, as you can see right here, this is a picture of me. And back when I first got out of college, the first thing that I did is what most people do, was that I went out and I got myself the best job I could possibly find. And as far as jobs go, it was a pretty good job. I mean, it really took care of all of my immediate living expenses, covered health insurance, just basically it took care of all of my basic immediate needs. So really from the standpoint of just getting myself established, that pretty much checked the box. But I always sort of knew that it wasn't really secure. And there really was no absolute certainty that that was going to be there for me at all times. And I also knew that it really wasn't the most free life. I mean, I had to be in a certain place from, 8 to 5 every day, sometimes longer than that. And I just kind of knew, this can't be it. This can't be the entire story of my life. There has to be something more to this. So even though it did provide adequate income just to finance my living expenses, I eventually got into real estate investing. And the first thing that I got into specifically was the niche of land investing. And land investing is something I talk about a lot on my blog. And it's a really cool approach that a lot of people don't really think about. The standard approach that I've always taken is finding motivated sellers, specifically of vacant land properties, who are delinquent on their property taxes or for some other number of reasons are just highly motivated to get their properties sold. And through these techniques, I'm able to buy vacant lots at just like crazy low prices, things that most people wouldn't even believe. Like we're talking anywhere in the range of $100 to $1,000, maybe more, if I feel like going after a bigger fish. But with this technique, I was able to buy a lot of properties with nothing more than the cash in my pockets. I mean, it was just very low risk, very easy to buy these properties. And because it was land, there was just very little complexity to this type of real estate. I didn't have to lose sleep wondering if I could make the mortgage payment or if contractors were going to show up on time or if tenants were going to trash the place. Just all of that stuff was completely wiped out of the picture because it's just dirt. There wasn't a whole lot to worry about. And because I was buying this land at such crazy low prices, it wasn't hard to turn around and resell them at a pretty big markup that would still be, far below market value, but, would have a pretty big profit margin for me. And this has just been a really, really cool investment strategy. And it's kind of been my primary that I've been working on for a lot of years now. Land investing obviously made me more money than just my job. Land was great and it could have some huge deals, but I also found that the income wasn't like the most predictable. Like I didn't necessarily know when I was going to find a deal and how big that deal was going to be. And it was great for creating these large payouts. And whenever I would sell these properties with seller financing, they would turn into small streams of income. But I always kind of just felt like wanted another source that was sort of unrelated but would still be predictable and permanent. And that was when I got into rental properties. And I decided to pursue rental properties for a few reasons. First of all, I knew that rental properties were a lot more expensive to get into. I couldn't necessarily just buy them with a few $100 in my pocket. But with the big influxes of cash that I was getting from land investing, I could afford to, buy some of these things either outright or, put a huge down payment on them. And that was okay because I had large chunks of cash to play with at that point, which, I never would have had if I didn't have land investing. And the nice thing about rentals is that they're really, for all intents and purposes, permanent sources of passive income. And it actually is passive income because for my rental properties, I hire a property manager. So I'm never, ever, ever dealing with tenants. I don't have to find them. I don't have to evict them. I don't have to do any of that stuff because frankly, I wouldn't be any good at it. I knew that just wasn't my area of expertise and I didn't even want to go there. And so my property manager, for 10% of the income, which is honestly a bargain for how much stuff they deal with, they handle everything and they frankly do an amazing job. And at most, I would spend on average maybe 5 minutes a month even really thinking about my rentals, and usually less than that. And all I'm really doing is checking my bank account to see, yep, they deposited my money this month. And to me, that is an amazing, remarkable thing. to have income that literally comes in whether or not I'm doing anything. And it's just money that's made in my sleep. And rental properties, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying they're everything. I'm not saying they're the only best, most wonderful investment strategy to pursue. Because there are some things about them that kind of stink too. Like you have to fix stuff and furnaces break, and there are tenants who just stop paying and you lose revenue there. So, it's not always a walk in the park, but in the end, it definitely makes money, and it definitely does not take a lot of work on my part to do that, because I've hired somebody else to deal with all that stuff. So in a lot of ways, rental properties kind of fill in the gaps where land investing leaves off, and land investing fills in the gaps that rental properties have. They're kind of a perfect couple that sort of goes together, and they complement each other in a lot of ways in terms of smoothing out income and providing those big influxes of cash. So I think they're just kind of a match made in heaven if you're pursuing them both and you're doing both the right way. So with my job, with land investing, and with rental properties, things are going pretty good. I've got, a few sources of income now. They're all largely independent of each other. And after doing this stuff for a few years, kind of started to realize I've learned a lot of stuff doing this. Like there's just a lot of random knowledge that I have now, which really you only get from experience. And on top of that, I also started to realize that a lot of these lessons that I learned, like I didn't really see anybody else out there talking about them. I didn't see any books that had really addressed this stuff that well. I didn't see a lot of blogs or forums or anybody who really truly knew what they were talking about and or, were explaining it clearly in a way that I could understand it. I just figured, I think I can do a pretty good job of explaining some of this stuff to people. And that was when I started my next little project, which was the REtipster blog. And really the point of this blog is just to tell the world everything I know and try to make it as easy to understand as possible. And it's honestly, it has been so much fun. I never really knew how much fun it could be, but I've kind of realized that I really enjoy teaching people what I know. And it isn't coming from a place where I'm all knowing and I have all the answers. It's more of a, here's what I know, and if you know something else, let me know. If anything, I've actually learned a ton just from putting a lot of this content out there and showing people the lessons I've learned, because other people can chime in and say, yeah, have you thought about this too? And that's a great idea. I'm going to try that. And just the feedback that I've gotten from readers has just been awesome. It has just been truly remarkable to build this sort of community with people who are checking out this blog and learning from it. It's just been really, really cool. And over time, I've found ways to, monetize the blog as well. The way that I make money from this blog is a couple different ways. First of all, I've got a page here that lists a few different blog posts where I actually sell things that I use in my business, like for example, postcard templates and contracts that I use and different checklists and recordings and just things that I have used in my business that have really helped me a lot and cut down a lot of wasted time. The place I have all this stuff listed is on my Gear Up page, is what I call it. So if you're watching this on the blog, you can actually see it in the navigation menu right up at the top. And if you're watching this on YouTube or somewhere else, all you got to do is go to the blog and click on the Gear Up page and you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's one stream of revenue. And then the other one would be when I list affiliate links throughout the blog for all kinds of random tools and courses and things that I've used in the past that have helped me along the way. So for example, phone systems, services that can help you create your own corporation or LLC, software services that can help you set up a very good looking, very easy to create website for your business, a small handful of educational courses and books that I've found to be really helpful as I've been learning how to do this business. Those are just a few examples, and whenever people click on those links and then buy the thing that I'm talking about, I get a small cut from those sales. So doesn't necessarily happen often, but when people do find value in the things I'm talking about and they choose to spend the money on that too, I get a portion of that. So really, those are kind of the ways that I make money from the blog. And honestly, it's just been really cool, because my goal with the stuff I talk about is not really to like sell people on anything. I'm just talking about what's worked for me. And if people think, it would be helpful to them too, then great. Check it out. If not, no problem. I'm certainly not trying to convince people to do anything that's not right for them. It's more just showing people what I've used and how it works and why it works and why I did it and why I would do it again. So through all these things, at this point now, I've got several sources of income that are all pretty much independent of each other. And what I love about this is that with all these different sources of income, it creates a well-diversified form of financial freedom. And what that means is that at any point in time, say if I wanted to quit my day job, or if I got fired for some reason, or say if land investing just got old and I got sick of it, or rental properties, if I wanted to sell those off, if at any point I wanted to pull the plug on any one of these things, the beauty of that is I'm okay. It's not the end of the world, because I've got several other sources of income that are propping me up, and I can rely on those and build up those in the absence of another one. So while it has certainly taken me a lot of time and effort and work and mental energy to build up all of these things, I gotta tell you, at the end of the day, it really has reduced a lot of stress, anxiety, and just kind of given me a lot of peace of mind, because of the fact that I'm not like ultimately reliant on any one thing. And if something happens, it's okay. You know, me and my family are going to be fine, because we've got a lot of different things coming in and a lot of different ways to support us. So in the end, the point of this blog is not necessarily to plug one particular investing strategy and tell you that, you know, this is the ultimate thing, and, you know, if you're smart, you're going to do this and nothing else, because I don't think that's true. I think there are a lot of different directions that you can go. And it is important to focus on one or two things and not go crazy trying to do it all. But it is good to have more than one thing going for yourself, and not to put all your eggs in one basket. So in summary, that's how my business model works. That's the way I've been pursuing it very intentionally for a lot of years now. And that's really how I intend to keep going, because I love passive income, I love diversified income, and I love financial freedom. And all these things kind of work together to help accomplish that. So thanks for checking out this video. I hope that all makes sense, and I hope that's helpful to you. And hopefully I'll see you again soon.